Do you suffer from delusions that you're being watched? Do you think that the government or a shadowy cabal is out to get you? Well, we here on the Stoic Stick channel are here to quell your fears. There is no one watching you through your bedroom window, there are no strange men following you throughout the day, and there is most definitely not people living in your walls. Just for the sake of argument, I'll even have a look to prove it to you. Well, I'll just put this back. Okay, time to come clean. We are gang stalking you. Those shadowy figures that you see in your room at night are not just a pile of clothes on a chair. That is me watching you sleep. And might I say, you do sleep soundly. But why am I telling you all this? Well, the Gang Stalkers Corp check just bounced, and they say that they're going to be replacing us with H1B guys, so I thought I'd let you know all the different ways that we watch and record your every move, just to spite my old employers. Yes, this video is going to go into the 6 different ways that you're being watched, and maybe I'll let you in on how to actually counter these, / make it harder for us to do so at the end of the video. The first way that the shadowy cabal that I work for actually stalk you is by using government pigeon drones. You probably don't know this, but you can rent government pigeons and use them to spy on people. We do it all the time. And no one even thinks twice about it. Even after the truth was revealed, people still think it's all a joke. But yeah, anytime one of our targets leave their home, we just send a bunch of pigeon drones to do flyover aerial shots, and if you're at a bus stop or not moving, we send in pigeons with wires that can intercept Bluetooth waves and record and monitor what you hear or say in headphones. One drawback of this technology though is that the pigeon does need to get pretty close to do this, and that's why pigeons these days have no fear and will walk right up to you. It's not because they've been conditioned to stop fearing humans, it's because they need to get within range to be able to spy on you. Fortunately for you guys though, due to government incompetence, can you believe it? The pigeons are only able to be used for spying, but with advances in drone warfare, pretty soon we will be able to get pigeons that can carry lethal payloads. So I'd be wary of what I say around pigeons, especially if it's anti-government.
Oh, what a lovely day. It sure would be nice if there were a park bench for me to sit on. Maybe if the government weren't so shit, I might have one.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh, what's this?
The next way that we spy on you is the dead internet, and no, this is not just a theory. I'll ask you a simple question. How can you be sure that anyone online is real? Well, I'm here to tell you that every single person that you have ever talked to online wasn't real, and they were just made up accounts by us to allow us to stalk you online and extract as much information from you as possible. We even have a huge spreadsheet of all the information that you feed us, and we use it against you to direct you into doing what we want you to do. Every post, tweet, account, player, personality, everyone online is part of our organization, from the moment you log on to the moment you decide to switch your phone or PC off. We are interacting, liking, following, tweeting into the void with fake engagement, all to make it seem real and tangible, as if it isn't all just us behind the curtain, waiting for you to return so that we can continue to stalk you. We even hand curate your feeds and explore pages. Every post you see was selected chronologically to project our ideas into your thought processes. This YouTube account was even created to specifically target you. Yes, you. You were the target for this entire account. Every other person you see all work for the Gang Stalking Corporation. None of them are real, and we use it all to control you. You can even try and test this by commenting something dumb, and either me or another one of my colleagues will reply and try to continue the charade. This has been made even easier with the advent of AI. Pretty soon we're going to be saving a lot of money by just creating AI chatbots to be online all the time, and by that point we will have you completely in the palm of our hands. Another way that we gang stalk you is by using giant space lasers to beam propaganda into your head. Actually, I think there's about to be another signal fired at you right now. Just give me 1 second.
Your phone ringing.
Yeah, normally you won't remember that after it happens. The only reason you remember it this time is because I primed you to be conscious and actively remember it. We shoot these signals at you at least a dozen times a day. It could be anything from propaganda to adverts. Sometimes we even just shoot memes into your head and you guys sometimes laugh. In fact, let me shoot one at you now whilst you're still going to be conscious of them.
Oh. Ooh. No crackers, Gromit. We've forgotten the crackers.
Yeah, that one's a classic. Never fails to make you laugh. Now you might be wondering, how does this even work? Well, to tell you the truth, Wi-Fi isn't real. We made it up so that we can surround you with it 24/7. It actually stands for we inserting things in your head. In your head is also definitely a real word, by the way.
In your head is a real word.
What we do is we shoot these space signals into routers, relay boxes, etc., and they are triangulated to land directly into your prefrontal cortex. Your brain then receives these signals and subconsciously processes them without you even knowing. And it's through this that we can subtly influence you to do just about whatever we want you to do. Now you might be wondering, how do we communicate long distances if Wi-Fi isn't real? Well, I shouldn't really be telling you this, but ancient Yakubian technology was found in the early 19th century, and we have been harvesting energy directly from Hyperborea ever since. We use this energy for long distance communication, although it can be used for anything. Of course, we couldn't allow Yakub's creation, white people, to actually know of this, and that's why it's a closely kept secret, and also hence why we lie about it and call it Wi-Fi. Another tool in our gang stalking arsenal is chemical warfare. It pains me to say this, but Alex Jones was right. They are putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay. It's called atrazine and it has the effect of feminizing frogs. Frogs that are exposed to this chemical in their developmental stages have depressed testosterone levels and in some cases are chemically castrated. That's not even the worst part. In about 10% of cases they found that male frogs were completely feminized and became fully developed females that could produce viable offspring with non-exposed males. Just so we're clear, there are chemicals that are widely used in food production that, when introduced to frogs, turn them into females, so technically making them gay. So, how do we get away with this? Well, atrazine is also one of the most used herbicides worldwide in order to increase crop yields. So when we apply this chemical to soil and farm fields, some of the atrazine is taking up the roots of plants, killing weeds, but also in some of the food crop. But a large amount of the atrazine makes its way out of the field and into other ecosystems through rainfall, rivers, other animals, etc. It's been found that atrazine can move up to thousands of miles outside of where it was used, thanks to it being able to be carried in rainwater. All that being said, it's a good thing that atrazine has no effect on humans, right? Well, no. It's been linked with some pretty negative health outcomes. Farm workers who directly have contact with atrazine and apply it to crops were found to have a higher incident rate with lung and bladder cancers, which are areas of the body that atrazine can enter or are found after exposure. The farmers, though, have a much higher exposure than me or you would. However, if farming regulations were to be laxed or the EPA were to be defunded, then it's most likely that farmers would be using a lot more atrazine in order to increase profits and subsequently increase atrazine in both the ecosystem as well as what we come in contact with. And that's just atrazine, by the way. We use hundreds of different chemicals such as lead, chemtrails, fluorides. All of these are used to stalk and manipulate you into doing what we want. The fifth tool in our gang stalking arsenal is auditory harassment. You're in bed and some idiot is driving up and down your street at night with a very loud exhaust. That is one of our agents. Construction being done nearly all the time near the office that you work at. Yeah, we hire those guys and they're not actually building anything. The crack addicted man accosting you in your travels to work. He's our top guy. And he's only homeless part-time. In his free time, he actually likes to paint. As well as do crack. It's kind of why we chose him for the role. You might be thinking, but what's the purpose of all this noise pollution? Well, to put it simply, if we allowed you a moment of peace to actually be able to think, you might realize that everything around you is a giant scam and maybe spot some of our agents in the field. So we use these audio waves to help mask our movements, as well as keep you in a constant state of distress. We've even perfected the frequency of these sound waves to cause maximum cognitive annoyance. That's why jackhammers are unnecessarily loud and can be heard from a large distance away. Untampered jackhammers are actually silent, but the liberal media will never tell you that. Not to mention all these super high frequency sounds that we shoot out of radio stations that are just high frequency enough to not be able to be heard by adults, but young children, especially babies, have fine enough hearing to be able to hear them, and so in a two-pronged attack, we shoot high frequency waves at you and also use them to make your babies cry, which will cause you further auditory harassment. Just think about it. Why do you think babies cry all the time for no reason? It's not because they're hungry, it's because you live near a radio station. The sixth tool is stuff that we still have in development. Remember a time when people were scared that their phones are spying on them? Yeah, well, now we've convinced a large percentage of the population that having implanted devices in the subdermal layer of their skin is a good idea. Look at these idiots that willingly allow us to keep track of them by having a chip in their skin. And the best part is that it's the most stupid tech out there. Just think about it for a second. How long does purchasing something even take? At most, it takes like 2 minutes to pull out a card and insert it and put the pin in. These people are literally allowing us to insert chips into them for no other reason than because they're stupid. But chips in the skin isn't the only thing we have. No. The next stage in this stalking technique is implanting chips directly into your brain, letting us read your brainwaves and record exactly what you're thinking, sometimes before you're even conscious that you're thinking about that thing. Thought policing will never be easier than when we ship out these Neuralink devices and make it mandatory for you to have them put in. And because we control the tech, we can do whatever we want with it, including overclocking them in case you have any thoughts that are a little too controversial, if you catch my drift. It sure is strange how all these tech billionaires who were extremely liberal just a few years ago are now all rallying behind Trump. Could it be due to the fact that he supports replacing American tech workers for cheaper H-1B workers? No, that couldn't be it. They must have been persuaded by the rights-appealing arguments, and definitely not because of money. I did say at the beginning of the video that I was going to tell you how to stop us from doing all this, but I just checked my bank account and apparently the Gangstalkers Corp check didn't bounce and it actually did go through. So if you could kindly just forget everything that I told you and pretend like everything is fine, that would mean a lot to me. But if you decide to not do that, then we'll probably just wipe your memory of the last few days and make it look like you blacked out from a fall or something and just woke up from a coma. Anyway, even if you are being stalked, if you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing, but other than that, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.